Thursday, getting a jump on it.
Yep. So we record Thursday. The show will come on Saturday morning on the Rocket Talk, and you're probably listening to it now, right then there. So anyway, but we're live on Facebook on Thursday. So anyway, Tracy, we've got our new construction minute here. We've got Jarrett Saavedra from our team and Lisa Brooks from Pulte Homes. So why don't you guys take it away?
Thank you guys for having me. Again, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking that I've been in real estate the past 12 years, 14 years, including finance, with a lot of that experience in new construction. A lot of consumers don't really realize out there with the lack of inventory that new construction is a viable option for them. So I brought on Lisa Brooks from Pulte over at the new Inspiration subdivision in 87120 to kind of discuss what she has going on and what she's building out there as well.
So welcome, Lisa. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
So Lisa, tell us a little bit about your building, how much lots you guys have out there, any incentives you guys might be offering for new construction as far as getting people in the door, helping them out a little bit. Feel free to just jump right on in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Jarrett. Yeah, so Pulte Homes has a brand new neighborhood in Northwest Albuquerque. So we're located about a quarter mile from the new Community Stadium. Beautiful, nice, convenient location. Brand new gated neighborhood that we have that's exclusive to Pulte Homes. So a little bit about the neighborhood itself. I did mention it's going to be gated. Beautiful community park right when you're pulling in, 2.5 acres, plans for a soccer field, basketball court, you name it. The world-class landscaping that you see in our other neighborhoods, walking trails, the works. And a really big variety of what we're actually doing in the neighborhood. So we kind of got a little bit of something for everyone. We're starting just under $260 in the neighborhood as far as a price point. There's numerous floor plans, 15 different home designs actually. So depending on what you're looking for and what you need, we got something that can accommodate it. Going up to just under 4,400 square feet. So for some of those larger families as well. So really big variety, a lot of personalization options too. As Jarrett kind of mentioned, inventory is a little bit light, as I'm sure you guys obviously are all aware. And so new construction is absolutely a viable option, not only because we have inventory, but because you can kind of personalize and get what you're actually looking for. So you don't have to settle for not finding what's on the market, because it is pretty slim right now. So that's kind of the nice thing we got actually in the neighborhood. Now, as far as, I mentioned price points around $260 and up from there. Different incentives we have, as Jarrett mentioned, absolutely. We know these are tough times too, and any little thing we can do to kind of help out and get a family moved on into a brand new, beautiful home. We do have some buyer incentives when you build from the ground up, as well as quick move-ins. We also have a hometown hero incentive that we're offering right now to say thanks for all of those individuals that are kind of keeping everything going for us. So we do have that as well. So
wow, awesome.
Yeah.
So that's great. What a lot of good information, jam-packed. So Inspiration by Pulte, Jarrett.
Lisa, one last thing too. What kind of separates you guys from some of the other builders out there that are building in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the really nice thing with Pulte, there's new construction in general is a viable option versus resale, but also with Pulte, the personalization aspect that we have, where you get to customize so many features of the structural layout and options inside the home. The new home warranty that you're going to get is going to give you a lot of peace of mind when you purchase new construction, so you're not shelling out all your money out of pocket when you move in to do repairs and maintenance. And also the efficiency piece. These are all green built homes. So these are about 70% more efficient than the average resale home on the market. So that's going to be a big help for, the comfort and livability inside the home, and also on utility bills. So those are some of and quality construction. We're known for our quality. We stand by our quality. I'm a Pulte homeowner myself, so I can kind of see that on different ends. But fantastic product, great location, and we're just, we've been open about 3 months now, and we have 70 families already building in the neighborhood. So it's been a really popular location, and we're excited to keep seeing it.
Congrats. Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, thanks for joining us, Lisa. Did you guys have any other questions or no?
How do they reach you, Jarrett? So if they've got interest in knowing about this neighborhood or any others?
You guys, my phone number is 505-363-2784. Email is Jarrett, Jarett, @theventuriTeam.com. and I'll be more than happy to guide you guys to go meet with Lisa. I'll meet you guys out there, point you guys in the right direction, and use my expertise as well as hers to get you guys the best deal, the best lot, the best incentives, everything that we can help out the consumer.
Well, we're lucky to have you, Jared, as a new home, home construction specialist. You know what's out there. You know all the ins and outs of it. So we're glad you're here with us, and thanks for having Lisa with us today. And Lisa, you're welcome to stay on as we talk about all our goodies of the week and everything, or you can jump off and listen later. But again, thank you so much. And Lisa, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach out?
Yeah, best way to reach me, my cell number is going to be 505-358-8148. Email is lisa.brooks@pulte.com. And I appreciate you three. You guys are awesome. So we look forward to
Now I just got to say, if you call Lisa, make sure that you heard it on Albuquerque Real Estate Talk with the Venturi team. So
Yes.
exactly, yeah. Anyway,
All
hey,
right.
thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
And Lisa, I'll send you the podcast so you can share this with your friends. Just I'm sure what you want to do, right? So anyway,
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, we're going to go on.
So much. Okay, we
bet.
never really got to our topics of the week, and we kind of had a little bit of a stumble at the beginning there because having a little technical problems getting connected at the beginning, so we didn't know when Eddie cued us in, so it was a little awkward. So sorry about that. A couple things. New Home Minute. Well, we did that.
Yeah. Good information.
Well,
That Pulte Home neighborhood.
I saw a headline and it was something about the changing in the market and how the spring selling season is now pushed. And so I came up with, is August, September going to be the new April, May? 'Cause we were talking about this the other day, Tracy. It's like everything's been pushed out. And so September is usually when sales drop off. So
Not significantly, but
not
we
significantly.
see a little pullback.
Yeah,
so,
no, sure, for sure.
Usually April and May are very hot. So we're going to chat about that a little bit.
Realtor.com.
Do some speculation, right?
Yeah. Realtor.com, they do they really do some good work on surveys and tracking the market and what's going on. And they have a new survey asking what buyers want. This is post-COVID. So it's kind of interesting how people's what they want in a home has shifted. And then future of home prices, yay, that's all I've been thinking about lately. And then we have Homes of the Week, Tracy. Okay, so first, let's go to this Realtor.com survey about what people want. Tracy, we were having this conversation the other day about move-in ready. Do you want to hit on that?
We've been seeing this trend, and now Realtor.com survey actually supports what we were seeing. Buyers want move-in ready right now.
Yeah.
They want to get moved in. I think there's a lot going on in households right now. They've got chaos in general with being at home more.
Well, in school.
Kids in school, at home, and things. So
in school and not in school.
Right. Move-in ready has become more important to our home buyers.
Yeah.
They don't want to take on a project. I think there's just, like I just said, there's just a lot of chaos already. They don't need more projects during this time.
What we've seen is the days on market has shrunk drastically in the last few months. The last number I saw, it was 7 days was the median days on market for sales. So that would have been homes that went under contract probably in May. So, and we've seen that continue, right, Tracy? I mean, you put one on the market last Saturday morning, just after the show. Yep, right after the show, and it was sold by the next morning, right?
Yeah.
And
basically by that afternoon.
Yeah.
Technically the next morning.
Didn't have signatures until the next day, but yeah, I mean, it's still that kind of market, especially in that house in particular, the one up on Moon. It was pristine, move-in ready to go, and you had people lining up wanting that home. So,
right, and it was priced affordable for most buyers. The other thing that consumer preferences are going on right now is they still have very strong confidence in the home market, right? So they're feeling like it's still a good way to invest in their future.
No, there is. I mean, there's a consumer sentiment index. There's one related to housing, and those numbers are still very strong. Another one that kind of just ties into that, and I'll just go. I mean, this survey now is a few weeks old that we're looking at, but isn't it funny that something a few weeks old seems like it's outdated?
It's like July 22nd, I think it's dated.
Everything's
So,
compressed so much
3
lately.
weeks
It's,
old
I
as
know. It's
things
like,
change
it's old
fast.
news. Well, one of the things I've been watching very closely in the last couple months, Tracy, was the buyer purchase applications for mortgages.
Right.
So that's an interesting thing to watch because
So
it's
every Wednesday,
every Wednesday.
the stats are released
Yep.
nationally
Yep.
of people applying for home loans.
Correct. So Mortgage Bankers Association tracks that. So they track refinance and then they also track purchase. Oh, we've got a big story about refinance too. Don't let me forget about
Okay.
that. But the purchase applications, I think the way I counted it, it's like the 7th highest weekly number in history. In about 6 of those have been in the last couple months.
Well, and those are pretty real time, right?
Yes.
They're very real time. So what we're seeing is lots of people still putting in applications to buy homes. So when
Which
we talk about,
ties into that whole thing that people are optimistic about the current buying environment.
right. So when we talk about, will August, September, or September, October be the new April, May, as far as how busy our market might be, that could tie right into it. Because if there are a lot of people today putting in applications to apply for a loan for a home, that
Yep.
would mean in
Right.
a couple months, a lot of those people will still be searching for homes.
Because they're not going to find them right now. Sorry.
Or-
That's not very fun. It's funny, not funny in the sense that the housing inventory is, that's what we call it, housing inventory. The number of homes for sale is very limited right now.
It is very limited, which is great. Why we've decided to talk about new home neighborhoods every week on our
Yeah.
show and highlight them, because we can help with new homes. And a lot of people are choosing to either pick out a house that's already being built by a new home builder, or to pick out a lot and have it built and wait that 6 to 8 months for their home to be ready. It's pretty exciting, right?
Yeah,
We've got
it is.
several clients right now who are having homes built with Pulte or D.R. Horton, and they keep posting on Facebook. It's so cute.
I know.
Here we are walking through our framed
I know.
house. I'm sure that
Yeah.
the new home builder doesn't want them in there without hard hats on, or with them, but they're doing posts and showing their framed up house. It's very exciting.
So a couple of the other things, just real quick to go through, garages. Emphasis on garages, emphasis on larger yards, emphasis on more square footage. Those are all things that have kind of moved up in priorities for home buyers.
The other thing that was in there, besides larger homes, is better neighborhoods. I think, with the things that are all over social media and the news with kind of people not being nice to each other, and
Really, I hadn't noticed that.
just some of the things you see, I think people are really paying more attention to what neighborhood and willing to pay a little more to be in a neighborhood where they think they'll feel safer.
Well, this goes back to that whole Maslow's hierarchy of needs and that whole, safety, security, roof over your head, right? Those are like the bare minimum things. And so, safety is a big deal for sure. And I think we all know that. Can I just talk about this big story that came out regarding Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? They raised a fee for refinances.
Yes, let's talk about that. I think that's important to know.
Well,
there's so many people refinancing, and honestly, everybody should if your interest rate is.
You should do it now because come September 1st, it's going to be
an
more.
extra half a point.
It's going to be more expensive now. Understand that's not a half a point interest rate. That's just a half a point fee, or 50 bips, as they say. So you're laughing like I know what I'm talking about.
50 bips.
50 bips.
It's like you're a
all the
lender.
mortgage guys talking that language and girls talking that language, a bip. So anyway, 50 bips is a half a percent, and that's a fee. So that's not like the interest rate isn't going to be a half a point higher.
What they are going to charge to do the loan.
Right, they're going to charge an extra, half a percent. So let's say it's a $200,000 loan, $1,000.
Right.
Is what it's going to cost, and that's an upfront cost. Extra, right. So that's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac on refinances, and most Fannie, Freddie, most loans end up being, going through Fannie and Freddie. So
right. So if you're thinking of refinancing, we know that if you're not going to refinance and take cash out, the rate can be really low. And if you want to refinance and take some of the equity out of your home and get some cash out of it, those rates are still exceptionally low, but a little bit higher. And
yeah, if you do a cash out, that's going to cost a little bit more
Right.
versus just, refinancing whatever on your principal balance is.
what we know is the remodelers around town in the whole metro area are very busy. So there are probably people refinancing and taking some cash out of their house and using it to refinance.
So Tracy, I was at Home Depot and Lowe's
Many times.
a couple times over the weekend. It's I don't know if it's good or bad that we live really close to those two stores over here in the Cottonwood area, but at both stores, like in the painting department, where they have the paintbrushes and stuff, it's like they're slim pickings. I mean, the only thing that's left are like the $22 paintbrushes. There's no, the cheap generic brand paintbrushes aren't there anymore. It's only the fancy ones. So obviously people are doing home projects, and we've seen that all over, right? We know that from Dream Style, the guys there. We've heard from them that they're very busy.
Yeah.
All the remodels, all the construction people that we know are very busy, especially on the remodel side, not repair and stuff, but the actual remodel people are very busy right now.
Yep. And, it makes sense. People are spending more
Right.
time in their home, and they have the equity. They have the ability to make those repairs and supervise them because they're home more.
Well, that ties into another thing that we're seeing, Tracy, is this catch-22 where people want to sell and they'd like to, do that next home, good interest rates, all that stuff, right? They're ready for the next home. They can't find what they want because of the lower inventory. And so what's happening is we don't have a lot of inventory because people can't find anything to buy, which reduces the inventory, right? So it's this whole vicious circle. And we need more homes flowing through the market. And I don't know what the answer to that. I mean, obviously contingencies, and there's ways to do it, right?
There are, and we've helped a lot of people with that. But part of it is, the new home builders for a lot of years weren't building as many what they call spec houses or keeping as many in the pipeline. And so it's got us behind with new homes. So
it's really funny you say that. I pulled the stats on permits in the Albuquerque market, the new construction permits, and it's been flat for 10 years. There's really been no. I mean, you saw this big, huge spike back in 2004, right? But since then, and obviously after the market turned, new construction's been relatively flat. So, I would say we're still behind. And it feels like we have all this demand, and that demand is increasing, not decreasing.
I would agree with that. And, there's a lot of new home neighborhoods coming on the market, different builders, but mostly West Side, Rio Rancho.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest are pretty much infill, a house here or there. And so there are a lot of new home neighborhoods coming, and a lot already, started. But not enough to fill the need. So
yeah.
So,
do you want to talk about some homes? Let's talk about some homes of the week, and then after that, Tracy, I've got some really shocking stats. Okay, I'm not going to say that.
You just love those stats.
I know, I do love those stats.
So coming soon, we have Cottontail, 608 Cottontail Street Southwest for $171,000. Tego, when we looked at the pictures, this is a Pulte, only about 17, but it's built in 2003. So it's not that old. Really cute, just about 1,350 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage.
I wonder how many offers that's going to have.
It's going to have a lot. It's really great. If you're interested, let us know right away.
I want to hit on something, Tracy, because people probably hear us say that, and they're going, well, hold on a second. Okay, it's listed at 171, and you're saying you're going to have a bunch of offers. Well, why don't you just, price it up higher? Why don't you put the price up higher? Why wouldn't we do that, Tracy?
Well, we're looking at what things have sold for in the area. We're looking backwards, and we're making it a fair price for the home based on backward statistics, right? We're looking backwards, but we're going to also want to be justifying what an appraiser will agree that home is worth. So really, an appraiser is going to appraise it for what a buyer is willing to buy and a seller is willing to sell for, but they want to also protect if there's a lender out there that somebody doesn't pay too much.
Right, and
so
it's kind of
justifying it.
It's the check, it's the governor, whatever you want to call it, that keeps
Let's not call it the governor.
The governor. That's not a good word. That's like an engine term. That's like an old school engine term.
Right.
Like the
governor. It makes you not go too fast in your dad's car.
Yeah, not make you go too fast. But that's kind of what this is. We're saying it's keeping a check on home prices appreciating too fast. That actually is my number one concern right now. It's up there, but home prices going up too quick, too fast, and getting ahead of the affordability in our market. You know, we've had great affordability in Albuquerque, and I hate to lose that.
Right. So Cottontail Southwest. So we have another one, 8831 Black Canyon Street Northwest, 87114. It's in Ventana Ranch. This one is literally a stone's throw from Volcano Vista High School. Very lightly lived in. I think it's a year or two old, and the person that bought it hardly even moved in. That
Great.
was $232,000. And that one's available starting today on Saturday. And we have another one on Venturi Drive Northwest coming soon for $225,000. And
that should be active today, Tracy.
Yeah.
I say today, Saturday. Yeah.
It's at the end of a cul-de-sac in the Venturi neighborhood in Ladera Heights. So there's that one. And then I just want to talk about at least two wants.
Okay.
I know we have about 20 buyers with wants.
Can I set this up a little bit?
Uh-huh.
Because every week we've been doing this, you know, I cataloged our shows, right? And we've done over 300 shows, and I think this is like show 330. And we've always talked about the home of the week or the homes of the week or the open houses. You know, these are homes that we represent that we're helping sellers try to get sold, or not try. We don't try around here, but
we just do.
We just do. So, you know, there's this kind of relatively new phenomenon, at least, you know, since about 2005, where there's a lot of buyers out there looking for homes that they can't find. And so now we have a bulletin board on our team. And I say bulletin board, I mean in-house bulletin board, an electronic bulletin board, both on our team as well as within our greater Keller Williams family here in Albuquerque, right? And we have these lists of buyers waiting for homes that are looking for homes. And so the reason I bring this up, Tracy, is if people are thinking of selling their home, they should call us. There's a really good chance we have some buyers that are out there waiting for a home just like yours.
So speaking of, Jody on our team said, you've got to tell people, Tracy, I have two buyers desperate. So one says they'll take Albuquerque, Las Lunas, or Rio Rancho detached, so they don't want a condo or townhome. 2 bedrooms and up for $170,000. So if your house is kind of in that range and you're thinking of selling, give us a ring.
Seems like we just talked about that house about 5 minutes ago.
Yep, we did.
And I'm sure it'll be on the list.
It will.
But yeah.
And I'm sure they'll be competing. And another buyer is looking for something up to $400,000 with guest house or casita or in-law area in Albuquerque, east of the river. So if there's something like that, I mean, I can think of some new homes, perhaps in Volterra where that might be, but just, you know, something up to 400, basically northeast-ish, that might have sort of an in-law kind of space.
So that circles all the way back to our conversation about what buyers want in homes right now. This phenomenon of the casita, in-law suite, whatever you want to call it, has been going on for a few years, but it seems like it's accelerated through this, where people are now multi-generational. So it's, you know, people are moving back in together, the families, but they want their separate spaces to live in. And so we're seeing a lot more of that and a lot of demand for that, and the builders are addressing that.
Right. We have seen several builders building, and one fairly affordably with Fellowship Homes, but everything they've built or gotten close to halfway done sells before it even can be finished. So they need to get a few more out of the ground. They're looking for land right now.
Can I give you some stats?
Really? You have some stats?
I know. Okay. I know. It's hard to believe. So
give us some stats.
We talked a lot about demand earlier here in the show, about buyer demand still strong, right? You know, all the indicators show the buyer demand is still strong. The other thing we look at is supply. Supply has continued to decline, and unfortunately, we're hitting another all-time low this week of number of homes available in our market. Again, if you're thinking of selling, we're begging you. Every realtor in Albuquerque, every home buyer around is begging you. If you're interested in selling, be sure to reach out and see if it makes sense for you. Of course, you need a place to live. It goes back to our other conversation. So we're about 50 less homes this week off the market. So it brings us down in this kind of 1,500 or so homes on the market in the Albuquerque area. And really, we should probably have 3,000 to 5,000 if we were talking about a balanced market, maybe as many as 6,000. So we're way below that. Just in the first 10 days here of the month, we've had a pretty good increase. Number of homes going pending jumped 36% just in the first 10 days versus same period last year, same week. So, the activity is still there. It's still cranking along.
So let's talk about our prediction. Do you think that September, October, or August, September will be like our April, May should have been?
Well, generally, Tracy, and we've talked about this, we have this seasonality in Albuquerque where March, April, May are generally the busiest months for pending sales. Of course, March, April, 50% less than normal. So we lost a lot of sales in those months.
And a lot of people who didn't put their house on the market.
Exactly. And so, but now June, July, and it looks like August are going to be, off the hook. We're pretty much even with last year on home sales now already, even with that big decline in April and May. And I would say in historically, Tracy, September, the sales tend to slow down a little bit more.
They do. As soon as sort of state fair time hits, we see things a little less busy, right? Well, we don't have state fair this year, and we still have a lot of buyers. Like we know from the Bankers Association how many people have just put in applications to get mortgages. We know that there's a huge pipeline of buyers out there.
We do.
So we know that we will stay busy for a while.
I'll say, since there's so much downtime and, things have been canceled, I think that's helping the demand for what you're doing, plus people are staying more in both their houses. I don't know that there's been a better time to go out and just explore what's out there in terms of real estate, because you can start turning rocks and figuring out stuff that you haven't found before. No football, no this, no that. Like, this is an advantage where you can really camp out and, really start delving into the details and take your time.
You know what I found out too, Eddie? If you have any home projects, there's an instructional video on YouTube on everything.
Tego's been doing a few of
you
those.
name it. I had to refinish some cabinet doors, and I found like 50 different videos of people refinishing different things. And it's, I think we all kind of know that, but it's just amazing how granular it can get when you're trying to figure out how to do something.
So, but the good and the bad each year is like you can, I can give you my need. Tracy, I'm looking for a house for, $200,000. I'd like to have 3 bedrooms. I'd like to have this part, and you can just sit there and camp and start driving through neighborhoods and figuring out what exactly that you want. Because people have been sitting on their houses right now for 5 months. As you both mentioned, it's been a tremendous time in the real estate market. There's a lack of supply. There's tremendous demand, the lower rates. You've got to compete. So, while you're competing or while you're figuring out, just design exactly what you want your perfect place to be like. You're going to be spending most of your time there, especially. It's not going to change much in 2021. People are still going to be telecommuting. It's going to become a new way of life.
It is. Did I tell you the new term, the co-primary residence? Did we talk about that, Eddie?
We talked about it last week.
I don't know. So there's a new term out there called the co-primary residence, where it's not like a second home per se, where you think of a second home, it's like a vacation home, someplace when you go when you're off of work. Well, there's this new phenomenon of co-primary residence where somebody just buys another home in another market, maybe more suburban, maybe more affordable, maybe more rural, but they're keeping their expensive house in Los Angeles or San Francisco or wherever, right? But so this whole co-primary residence is becoming a thing, which is actually not helping the supply issue.
Yeah, well, if you can afford it, go out and buy it. And for the people out there who can take advantage, right, Tracy, of the 2.5% interest rates?
Yep, 2.5%.
Snooze, you lose. It's first come, first serve at this point, and you got to compete. Best way to do that is pick up the phone, give my friends a call. Tego and Tracy Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams. So you can pick up the phone and dial them directly, 448-8888. That's 448-8888 or welcomehomeabq.com. Thanks to the number of people we're going to have to start scheduling. There's a little bit of people out there who's going to take advantage of Tracy, the 2.5% interest rate for a lunchtime with Tego and Tracy. For those of people who actually listen, which is really kind of tremendous, they will have found out about a house here on a Thursday that's actually not going to be talked about 2 days later. So you get a 48-hour advance just by watching the Facebook and sharing it. So we'll do this every Thursday live here in the Kiva, wherever Tego and Tracy happen to be. They could actually also broadcast from wherever they're at by virtue of their phone as well. And all you have to do is pick up the phone once again and dial them directly here. 448-8888. That's 448-8888 or welcomehomeabq.com. Thanks, Tego and Tracy, for being here.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
They're the best. More great talk when we return here in the Kiva.